The British government recently made public UFO documents. Essentially, it's what their X-Files. So what did they reveal, if anything?
Well, this was 9,000 pages of documentation released just a couple of weeks ago. And that's interesting in itself because, of course, the British government's position on this had always been the policy was to downplay the level of our interest and say that it was of no defence significance. And yet, of course, behind the scenes, we were much more concerned than I think we were letting on, particularly where we have sightings where the witnesses were pilots, where these things were seen by police officers, where they're tracked, for example, on military radar. Those sorts of cases we took very seriously, because if there's something in our airspace, it's a defence and national security issue. It's got to be.
You claim that the U.S. and U.K. thwarted an effort for the UN to investigate UFOs. Why do you claim that?
Well, in some of the documents recently released by the Ministry of Defence, which is in the middle of a 4-year programme to declassify and release all its UFO files, it was shown that there was a United Nations initiative to look into the whole UFO issue. But both the British government and the American government took the view that we didn't want this to go ahead. You know, the Americans in particular had taken the view, look, given that we terminated Project Blue Book, it would make our decision to withdraw from UFO investigations look wrong if the United Nations suddenly started taking an interest. So behind the scenes, there were efforts to really bring the whole thing into disrepute and make sure it never happened. And it's kind of easy to do. You can use phrases like little green men and flying saucers to sort of faintly ridicule the subject. If there's something in your airspace, you need to know what it is. And no government can really go public and say, there are things in our skies, we don't know what they are. Pilots chase them sometimes, but can't catch them. There are near misses between these things and commercial aircraft, which has happened on numerous occasions. You know, an admission that, well, it would be an admission that we'd lost control of our own airspace, and that's untenable for any government.
Nick, what do you think? They found what they believe to be water on Mars, which is an indication of life. Do you think this proves anything?
I think we're edging that way. Last year, the Royal Society had 2 discussion meetings to talk about the implications for science and society of discovering extraterrestrial life. I think it's only a matter of time before there is some breakthrough discovery. And that's why people are so interested in this subject, because it's one of the most profound questions you can ask. Are we alone or not?